So as a job seeker, if you have this dependability, or you are reliable, or you have reliability, then you see that you have an asset that probably will knock out other people. Then we have things like flexibility. Are you flexible? Can you be able to stand change? Can you adjust to change? Can you stand change? Can you adjust to change? That is another hard skill that a job seeker should be able to have. That you can be able to. Important is the most important thing that I have. But what I want to say is that we may be having all those assets, but the most important asset that you have is yourself. Is yourself.
You yourself.
Is you yourself. You yourself, you are the most important asset that you have. You yourself, you are the most important asset that you have in terms of keeping yourself well, keeping yourself healthy, keeping.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning to you. How are you?
We are fine.
Mnaendelea vizuri?
Tunaendelea poa.
Baridi mnaionaje?
Nisikia wakisema kuna baridi.
Imekuja na vichukuu.
Tulisikia wakisema ati hii weather. Hii weather ni mbaya.
Hii weather ni mbaya.
Hii weather ni mbaya. But they happy new month.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy new month too.
Wow, tunasherehekea new month mwezi Agosti.
That is true.
Na
thank God.
Umepotea sana.
Niko.
Na students wameuliza sana mambo mingi sana. Kuna watu ambao waligraduate kama Chuka University, kuna watu ambao walimaliza mitihani but bado wanangojea kugraduate.
Wanangojea kugraduate
pale November.
November.
Lakini sasa wanauliza maswali mengi sana huko nje. Na ndio maana sasa tukakuita hapa tukuulize your greatest asset as a job seeker.
Yes.
Uko kule nje unatafuta kazi.
Yes.
Umebisha milango yote lakini bado unaona kama
what is your greatest asset as a job seeker? Kwanza lazima tuelewe what asset is. An asset ni kama mali. An asset ni kama something which is important, something which you value, or something that is of greatest value to you, or is of greatest importance to you. So we are asking ourselves, what is your greatest asset as a job seeker? Of course, as we look at your greatest asset as a job seeker, we also have to look at your greatest asset as a human being. But if we look at as a job seeker, what is your greatest asset as a job seeker? When you go looking for a job, ni silaha gani hii umebeba? Unajua hii silaha itanisaidia kupata kazi.
Nikiwa na hii unaweza secure.
Nikiwa na hii nitatoboa. Nikiwa na hii knowledge nitatoboa. So every job seeker actually should be asking themselves that question. What is their greatest asset as job seekers? What is your greatest asset as an employee? What is your greatest asset in whatever area you are? Even as an employee, you need to ask yourself, what is your greatest asset? Or are you just a liability in that company? Because some people could be liabilities in the company and not assets in the company. So you ask yourself, what is my greatest asset as a job seeker? And I was looking at these assets in two sections. We have the hard skills and we have the soft skills. Now, the hard skills are like your certificate. When now you graduate, as you're saying, you have those people that have they have completed exams, they are waiting to graduate. There will be somebody there who will be graduating with a first class honors. That's an asset. With a second upper, that's an asset. Even lower is still an asset. But there will be somebody who will be graduating with a pass. It may still be an asset, but if you compare this pass with first class honors, you find that the one that has first class honors probably has more self-esteem than the one that doesn't have first class honors. It doesn't mean that this one who doesn't have first class honors will not succeed in life, because there are other assets that you need to have other than your certificate. So we have the hard skills, like the certificate. Like now for you people who graduate with a certificate in journalism and mass communication, that would be your hard skill, and it will be your asset, your certificate. Maybe you will also graduate with other things or other certificates or other accompanying your certificate. It can be maybe in photography. Maybe you are good in photography. Maybe you're good in typing skills. Maybe you're good in report writing. You know, so you are going to seek your job, or you're going to seek a job having skills that you know, mimi niko na hii asset. Nikiingia hata kwa hiyo interview room, I will explain to them about this. I will explain to them about this. I have the hard skills. I have the competencies. I have been trained and I have achieved the competencies bookwise. Bookwise, nimesha achieve the competencies. So other than the hard skills, we also have the soft skills. Now this is where kuna changamoto hapa. This is where there is a challenge. Like now sahi kuna baridi. I am sure there are so many people that have not woken up to go to work. Hata labda wengine wamepiga simu kusema mimi ni mgonjwa. And yet it's not because they are real sick, but they are not able to stand the weather or the changes of the weather. So we have other assets like dependable skills, where you are able to be depended on or you are reliable, that I can count on you. If I can count on you, you'll be there tomorrow. I can count on you, you'll be there in the evening. I can count on you. If I give you a job, I can count on you that you'll be able to do. So as a job seeker, if you have this dependable dependability, or you are reliable, or you have reliability, then you see that you have an asset that probably will knock out other people. Then we have things like flexibility. Are you flexible? Can you be able to stand change? Can you adjust to change? Can you stand change? Can you adjust to change? That is another hard skill that a job seeker should be able to have. That you can be able to be flexible. You can be able to adjust to change and not be rigid. Because you may be taken to an environment that is not like where you come from, but are there human beings living there? If the answer is yes, then you should also adjust and live like them. But we have people that complain a lot about institutions, complain about organization, complain about environments, despise environments, and yet there are people that are living there. There are people that are living there. So you need to arm yourself with these assets of soft skills. We have also team building and teamwork. We have teamwork that you can be able to be a team player. You can work together. You can work together and you can work harmoniously together. So that's also another asset that you need to arm yourself with. We also have assets like problem-solving skills. Problem-solving skills, kuna vitu ufundishwi kwa class. There are some things utafundishwa kwa class. And I always say that. And I always even tell my children, kuna vitu wezi fundishwa kwa class. There are things that you as a person, having reached this level, there are problems that you can solve even without somebody knowing that you are going through that particular problem. So you must be having problem-solving skills, being able to solve problems here and there, challenges here and there, improvising, being able to improvise. Not every time when you're faced with a challenge, you start crying. Ni kama vile mnasemanga kwa msemo ati kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio mwisho wa kufanya nini? Wa kupika ugali, si ndio? Because you can even cook that ugali using a spatula, you can using a spoon, you can cook. Are you getting that? So you have to have problem-solving skills. You also have to have time management skills. That is something that you have to have. Actually, this is very, very, very important because we see sometimes job seekers, they see an advert, and this one I really need to stress on. They see an advert in the newspaper. Lakini advert imesema deadline ni 30th. Ama deadline, kama sasa this is August. But the advert is saying deadline ni uko ma 20 something ama 30th. This graduate will wait. Will not do that application immediately. They see it. They buy time until the last minute is when they are rushing to do what? To apply. When you do that, you are actually wasting a lot of time, number one. Number two, you are likely to be cut off. Especially if they receive so many applications. They're likely to say, tulikuwa tunataka watu wawili, na sasa tuko na 100 applications already. Can we close and only deal with these ones? Are you seeing that? Exactly. So ndio utangojea hiyo 24th. Ndio you are within deadline, but they have already taken, or they have already said, let us close here because of the overwhelmingness of the many applications that have been made. So time management is very important. Arriving to an interview late, arriving to work late, arriving to places of appointment late. Uko na date, umesema ni saa 2, unafika hapo saa 4, surely nani atakungoja? Nani atakungoja?
Unajua Africans tuko hiyo tendency.
Tuko hiyo tendency
ya kuchelewa tu,
which we need to
we are always 10 minutes late.
Yes.
Ama hatuwezi, yani when you find wherever you'll find an African ambaye amefika on time, it's very difficult.
And imagine it is very possible to make it on time when you set your mind to make it on time.
Exactly.
So time management skills is an asset. Creative thinking is an asset. Creative thinking is thinking of how else you can do things, even at workplace. How else can you be able to do things? Even at home, how else can you be able to do things? Can you be creative a little bit and come up with something which is better than what is there? Critical thinking. Critical thinking is being able to critique something and make it better. Because when you are critiquing, you are not making it worse, you are making it better. So having critical mind, having patience, being patient, having interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills is being able to work with other people or to relate with other people, and even having effective communication. These are some of the assets that a job seeker should be having. But this is now in terms of hard skills and soft skills.
Now, madam,
yes,
somebody is asking, as we continue learning our different courses, we participate in different projects and activities.
Yes.
We have other certificates other than academic certificates.
Yes.
Can they be used as assets by job seekers?
Very much. Very much so. They can be used as assets, which we are calling hard skill assets. So these certificates that you have, and actually every graduate should know, they should not just graduate and sit down. There are so many courses that they can be able to do that can be able to boost their skills. Let me use an example. You know, a long time ago when we were going to school, when I was going to the university myself, we didn't have much. We were writing our term papers by hand. We were writing our research papers by hand.
20 years
we
ago.
were more than 20 years. Anyway, so can you see that we were doing everything by hand? But currently, you cannot be a graduate and you don't know how to type. You need to have typing skills so that you have your laptop, you can be able to type your assignment. And when you're at work there, you can be able to type a document, you can be able to do a report. But those times, even a boss didn't need to know how to type. They would just have handwritten, then they'll push it to the typewriter, the secretary who was using a typewriter to type. And actually kulikuwa na hizo typewriters za zamani zile zilikuwa zinalia ta 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 ta, you know exactly. So that is what used to happen. But how about now? Do employers want someone who knows some kind of computer skills? The answer is yes. So you need to boost your certificate with something else. You need to boost it with something else. You need to boost it with some other certificates that can actually help you to become a professional in that particular area. There are people that do CASNEB. There are people that do computer packages. There are people that do, even now what has become very important is cybersecurity. You see what happened the other day. So we need to know these things. So if you have someone with that kind of knowledge, you're going to be better. And therefore, these are assets that job seekers should be able to acquire. Now, other than those ones that I've mentioned that you need to have, you can also add assets such as self-confidence. If you have a self-confidence, that's already an asset. These are the people when we are in a group, tunawaambia wewe ndio utaenda kusema hiyo. Why do it?
And in a group, there must be that one person.
There must be that. Wewe ndio utaenda kusema. You know, even in a job setup where you are all employees and maybe there's something that a grievance or something that you want to suggest to the boss. Kuna mtu mnasemanga wewe ndio utaenda kufanya nini? Ndio utaenda kusema hiyo. Even at home, children when they want something from their dad or from their mom, they look at someone who has the self-confidence. Wanamwambia wewe ndio utaenda kuambia mom, this is what we want. Wewe ndio utaenda kuambia tunakwambia dad, this is what we want. So kuna self confidence. You yourself, when you have self confidence, that's an asset. You know, this self confidence can even make you pass an interview. Do you know why? You go there, you sit, you are smiling, while others are doing what? Shaking.
Yeah, they're panicking.
While others are panicking before a panel, you are doing what? You are smiling and you are relaxed because you have the self-confidence. Unajiambia, hata wakiniuliza swali ngumu, si kila mtu anajua everything. So unajipatia confidence. Self-confidence is an asset in itself. You need to build it. Self-esteem is an asset. You need to build it. Self-esteem. You need to build self-awareness, knowing yourself, being able to know yourself. That is also an asset, by the way. Knowing yourself. This is an asset. Long time ago, I don't know whether companies still do it, but companies used to have end of the year party. At the end of the year, most companies used to have parties. Siku hizi ziko lakini chache, lakini zilikuwa mingi sana. Every company used to have those whatever. So you can find that end of the year party is the day unaharibu jina yako.
That's the head of your work.
That's the end of it, or that's the end of your dignity. Your dignity ends there because either kuna vinywaji pale, wewe unagubia tu, unachukua moja, unaweka ndani, unachukua ingine, watu wanakuangalia tu. Your sauti yako inaanza kuraise. Slowly by slowly unaanza kuimba mother tongue. Na unaweza
start speaking your mind now.
Are you getting that?
Right.
But if you are aware of yourself, unajua this is a no gone for me. Me, I know if I take one or two, then I'll be behaving in a manner like, you know, in a very bad way. And this is not the place to behave that way. So because you know yourself, you take control of yourself. So that again, that is still an asset. Self-awareness, you know, self-control, being able to control yourself. It is also an asset in this particular instance. So other than that, we need people to build these kind of assets. Yes.
Na kuna watu wengi sana wana complain huku nje. But I don't know whether this question is connected to our topic of the day.
Yes.
That graduates, most of the graduates are complaining.
Yes.
That unaenda tu kwa mtu na kuambia, enda kwa Madam Joyce Mghoi, now you are the boss.
Yes.
Mwambie ni mimi nimekutuma. No documents. Mwambie ni mimi nimekutuma.
Actually they are saying, hiyo ndio CV ya kisasa.
Hiyo ndio CV ya kisasa.
Enda useme nimekutuma.
Enda useme nimekutuma.
Mimi nimekutuma. Is that an asset?
So you're saying an asset is having someone whom you can say I've been sent by so and so.
Connections.
While it is happening now in the country, currently in Kenya, it is happening and it is there that there are people that are influential, that if you know them, they can be able to help you secure a place here and there. Yes, that can be an asset. But what happens to those that do not know somebody? What happens to those that don't have somebody who can be able to send them to a place? What happens to them? Does it mean that all hope is lost for them? The answer is no. We should not lose hope. And we should not give up because we don't have somebody who can be able to push for us. So we need also to continue to apply. We need also to continue to seek. We need also to continue to think out of the box, even if we may not be having someone who can be able to push for us, or someone whom we can be told enda kwa so and so atakufix and so on. We should not give up. But yes, that scenario is there. And if you have someone who can be able to help you, why not? Let them help you. But if you don't have anybody who can be able to help you, please don't sit down and fold your hand. You may be the one to help someone in future.
Exactly.
Actually, I went to a place and there is a lady there that was telling us, and I've found out that is very true. The lady was saying that she has seen it in social media, that poor background, this excuse of us saying, I come from a poor background, it ends at 30 years old.
Very true.
Once you reach 30 years old, you become that poor background. If you've not done anything, now you become the poor.
We must write it down.
You must write it down. And I thought about it and I said, actually, it is very true. You know, you as a person and as a grown-up, you cannot continue to talk about poor background for the rest of your life. So she was saying, this excuse of saying, I come from a poor background, it ends at 30 years old. Once you are 30 years old, you now become the poor background.
Your responsibility now.
You now become responsible. Up to 30 years, you may still say, my mother was poor, my father was poor, you know, I come from a poor background. But now when you become 30 and above now, your children will now start saying, I come from a poor. You become the poor background. You become the poor background.
I think that's an excuse for people who don't want to work in life.
Yes, that is very true. There are people that don't want to work in life. There are people that don't want to develop these assets that we are talking about. They don't want to develop these assets. And so we are just telling them that after 30 years, they will no longer be talking about poor background. They will be the poor background. They will be the poor background.
That 1 minute past 8 a.m. East African time. My dear listener, in the studios, we have Madam Joyce Mghoi, who is the Director of Career Service at Chuka University. We are going to take a short break. We'll be back shortly.
And now move on with our conversation, Madam Joyce Mghoi.
Yes.
We are looking at assets.
Yes.
I mean, we are looking at your greatest assets as a job seeker. We have looked at 2 assets, hard skills and soft skills.
Yes.
But now, are there other assets that a job seeker should also have?
Okay. Now, this asset that I'll talk about is not only for a job seeker, but it is for every human being.
Exactly.
Now, when we're talking about hard skills, assets for job seeker, we looked at what the job seeker needs to have. If you ask any person you meet on the road, you ask them, what is your greatest asset? Maybe some of them will tell you, maybe my building, maybe my farm, maybe my animals, maybe my children, maybe, because an asset is something which is important to you, something which is of value to you. So they may give you, they may name their assets depending on what they hold dear. If you ask a mother, what is your greatest asset? What is the most important thing to you? They may tell you my children. They may tell you, my mother. They may tell you, my building or my farm or my house, my beautiful house or my car. My car is so beautiful. It is the most important thing that I have. Or my job. My job is so important. It's the most important thing that I have. But what I want to say is that we may be having all those assets, but the most important asset that you have is yourself. Is yourself.
You yourself.
Is you yourself. You yourself, you are the most important asset that you have. You yourself, you are the most important asset that you have in terms of keeping yourself well, keeping yourself healthy, keeping yourself well mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, being able to take care of your own self in terms of all these things.
Exactly.
Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all these things, you need to take care of yourself because you are the greatest asset that you can ever have. And I'm saying the greatest asset is why? Because if you lose your health, like for instance, if you are sick, if you are sick and you're lying in the hospital, by the way, many things lose meaning.
Exactly.
Even your car loses meaning because your car, the money in the bank account loses meaning. The many building rental houses you have built lose meaning. Even sometimes you may be having, maybe you have been loved by somebody, or maybe you have love of your life and you're really excited with this person. But when you are lying on the bed, it also loses meaning. It also loses meaning. So you find that your health, you as a person, you are the greatest asset that you will have. Beauty loses meaning when you are sick. Money loses meaning. Money loses meaning when you are sick. Because even if you could be able to pay a doctor, and the doctor can be able to treat you, but if you are not well, it loses meaning. And that's why you find even people that are very wealthy, they still fall sick and they still die. And then you ask yourself, with all this property, with all this money, so and so has gone. Yani fulani ameenda na ameacha hii mali yote. What does that mean? That hiyo mali haingeweza kufanya nini? Kumsaidia. And that's why I'm saying physical health, you check on your health physically, you check on your health emotionally, mental health. Your mental health should be good. Your mental health should be good.
Yes.
What your brain tells you, you should check what your brain tells you. Because every time we are talking about mental health, we are talking about what your brain tells you. Wewe brain yako inakuambia aje? What does it tell you? You check on that, emotionally. You check on your emotions. You check on your mental health, emotional health, physical health, and so on. Because your body is the greatest asset. Life will lose meaning without health. Love will lose meaning without health. Employment loses meaning even without health. Money loses meaning. Beauty loses meaning. So the greatest asset that you have is yourself. The greatest asset that you have is yourself. Because even when we are talking about unemployment and we are talking about a job seeker, job seeker atajipeleka yeye mwenyewe na mwili wake. Ukweli ama uongo? Mwili wake ndo utampeleka pale, mdomo wake ndo utaongea, na pepa zake ndo zitaonekana, si ndio? So when you know that you are the greatest asset that can ever be, then you are able to take care of yourself. All these other things you build, you beef, and so on, and take care of yourself. But the greatest asset is yourself. You as a person. When you are lying on bed sick, everything loses meaning. You can be able to afford everything, but if your health is not good, then you can see there is nothing that you can be able to do.
Talking of body is the greatest asset.
Yes.
Now you have talked about hard assets, hard assets and soft assets.
Yes.
Is it true that if you lose soft assets, most probably you will not be able to or else to maintain your body asset?
Exactly. If you lose your soft skill assets,
right.
If you lose your soft skill assets, there are many things that you will not be able to do, and your body health may not be complete. For instance, when I was talking about self-confidence, when I was talking about self-esteem, when you don't have self-esteem, there are many things that you may enter into that you would not have entered into. And these many things that you would enter into, they will also destroy your body. They will also destroy your body. So when you don't have the soft skill assets, those soft skill assets, if you don't have them, you may affect your body assets. And we are saying that the body asset is the greatest asset that you have. It is the greatest asset that you have. So you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your body, the most important asset that you have, by eating healthy. By exercises, having exercises, by, if you are not feeling well, go to the hospital, get medication, stop stretching yourself beyond. There are people who have gone to the hospital and they have been asked, ulianza kusikia hii lini? Nilianza mwaka jana. And by that time, things have gone from bad to worse. So if you're not feeling well, seek medication. Take care of yourself. Eat a well-balanced diet. Eat fruits. Eat a well-balanced diet. Eat fruits. Eat healthy, so that you can be able to take care of your body. And then worship and recognize God in your life. The place of God in your life. The place of God in your life comes, people, in such a way that there could be very many challenges that are going around you. But if you have God in your life, or you have put the place of God in your life, then you'll find that some of these challenges will be there, yes, but there will be that consolation from God, the Creator, the God that knows all, the God who is able to change things. That particular consolation will be able to help you even to maintain mental health, There are many things that you can be able to change in life, and there are many things that you cannot change in life. So those that we cannot change, we leave it to God. And those that we can be able to change, we change. And then those that we cannot be able to change, we ask God to be the one to do what? To change. And at his own time, he can be able to change those particular things. Sometimes we take things in our hands and we end up losing ourselves, or we end up losing our lives. Because we are taking matters into our hands. We are the ones taking matters into our hands. And sometimes we are not able to take those matters into our hands. So eat healthy. Eat a well-balanced diet. Do some exercises. Recognize the position of God in your life. This will give you a lot of peace and a lot of joy, knowing that there is a God that can be able to help you, that can be able to journey with you, and that places everything at his own time when it is the right time. Then, when you are able to do that, you can be able to take care of your body by doing what? By giving yourself peace of mind. Peace of mind. Peace of mind is also important. I normally look at contentment, the word contentment. Contentment, is something which is very, very important.
Exactly.
Because if you don't have contentment, it doesn't matter how much you have.
Yeah, exactly.
You will not have peace. If you do not have what? Contentment. So we should be able to cultivate peace. We should be able to cultivate contentment. We should be able to cultivate love for everyone, giving everyone a benefit of doubt, even when you see that they are not really depicting what you think they should, give them a benefit of doubt. Then have family, have friends that can be able to take care of you. And I want to finish by saying this. For you to be able to take care of your greatest asset, which is your body, avoid self-destructive behaviors. Self-destructive behaviors are like drugs and substance abuse. That's a self-destructive behavior. Yani wewe mwenyewe unajidestroy. You yourself, you destroy yourself. Hakuna mtu anakudestroy. Wewe mwenyewe unabeba mguu yako, unaenda pale, you go to hammer your body. You continue to hammer your body. You go to hammer your body, or you go to destroy your body slowly by slowly. So drugs and substance abuse, reckless driving. You have people that drive like there's no tomorrow. Even an example of the Mirror vehicles that pass here. I mean, that driver that is seated there, I don't know what is normally in their mind. However, God has really helped them. God has really helped them, and for some, I mean, they rarely have accidents anyway. God has really protected them. And then the other road users have empathy. So when they see them coming, unajieka kando naacha wanaendelea. So reckless driving is also self-destructive. General risking of your life. You're going to places that you should not be going, even at night, doing things that you should not be doing. Irresponsible sex, irresponsible sexual behavior is also a self-destructive behavior. And there are very many other things that are self-destructing. So people should actually take care of themselves. The greatest asset you have is your body.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Joyce Mghoi. And now I want to ask you a question. First, I would like to congratulate you. I've been following you.
Yes.
Nimeona mmekuwa mkitembea kwa shule nyingi sana. Mkiweza kugift students, you're encouraging them to join Chuka University.
Yes.
Of which is good. Now, yesterday, students, most of the students were shocked.
Yes.
We have 584,863 eligible students who did not express interest in universities and colleges.
How many?
584,863. It is in the Daily Nation.
Yes. Which did not, they did not express their desire to go to the university. You know why? Because nowadays we have so many other institutions that the government has invested in and has made them better. So the choice is become wider. Yani, they are choosing from a wider range. They are choosing from a wider range because the technical institutions, TVET institutions, have been supported by the government. They have good facilities. They have tutors and trainers, and they are also doing a very good job. And that is why you can see the choice now, choosing where to go, it has become wider. Such that there are people that are choosing, maybe I don't want to go to the university, let me go to a technical institute. Or I don't want to go here, let me go there. So that is why we could be having a lot of students that are actually not picking, or they're not picking a course in the university. They're not picking a course in the university. However, even if they go through technical institutions, or they go through other TVET institutions or colleges that are not universities, they will still end up in the university. Why? Because you will start from that level, but as you go on, you decide, now let me achieve a higher degree, or let me achieve a higher certificate. And that higher certificate, where can you get it? In the university. So it is very, very possible to have people that are selecting to go to other technical institutions other than the university, and they will still progress. The other thing is a number of students, by the way, in those schools that have been going, those schools that have been going, and when I'm talking to the students, one of the questions that they normally ask me in all those institutions is, can I go to study outside the country? Can I go to a university outside the country? So even that has contributed. There are a number of parents that are able to pay for their children outside the country. So some of those that you're counting there, they're actually considering to go to a university abroad. Some of them may already have gone. And some of them probably, that is what they are considering. What I'm saying, Chacha, is, James, is that we have a wide selection point that we can be able to select from very many institutions. We can select from the universities, we can select from technical institutions, we can select from polytechnics that have been sponsored by the government. We can also select a university outside the country. So yes, that could be the reason why we have that number.
As Director of Career Services, Chuka University,
yes,
what can you tell students who wish to join Chuka University?
Actually, Chuka University is one of the most beautiful universities that are there in Kenya. Me, myself, I have studied in 2 universities, and then now this is my 4th university. I worked in another university. This is the 4th university I've been in. And I know Chuka University is one of the most beautiful universities in terms of the facilities that are there. But I'm not calling them to come because of the beauty of the university. I'm calling them to come because we have a marketable courses. We have marketable courses. We have very good and qualified staff that can be able to give them education. And our students, when they leave the university and they go out there, they are able to perform, they are able to deliver, and the employers are happy with our students. Meaning that we don't do half-baked. We don't do half-baked. We are able to train our students and they are able to really qualify. So other than the fact that this place is beautiful, even as we are talking about these places, quite right now it is cold. It is not as cold as other places. It is not as cold as other places. So there is serene environment. The serene environment is good. Then the community is also good. The community outside there, where our students live with the community, the community is also very good. There are some universities where you go and there is war between the students and the community. They are always fighting. Once in a while you hear there was war between the community and the students. But here we don't have that. The community is very, very appreciating of the people, of the students, and therefore they live in harmony. So I would really encourage any student that is outside there, kindly do inter-university transfer to Chuka University. You will not regret. You will not regret. So we are calling them to come. Those that didn't get a C+ and above to get to the university, we also have some diploma courses that they can pick from. So let them come to Chuka University. We really would appreciate them to come and learn with us.